the other neighbors, so St. Anne's, we've heard people talk about there actually being three, but people have told us that there was sort of three French-Canadian, Franco-American neighborhoods. There was the Point, South Salem, people are making a distinction, and then Castle Hill.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Yeah. And was there, you had talked a bit before, sort of the sense of what the difference was between those groups of people. Were there identifiable sort of differences?
What I think the difference was, low bush and high bush French, people joke about. The folks in the Point were more of a working class French, and there was a little bit of an economic or a monetary distinction. The ones that were into businesses or were better educated, and some of them, actually I should have said that, there was a couple of French pharmacies, Poussade, Vaillancourt, Poussade, Lucia. The people that had made a little bit more money, they moved out to the Loring Avenue area, down by Ocean Avenue, down by the college here. A bunch of them came to the point where they had to have a mission church, St. Teresa's Mission, which was a satellite church of St. Joseph's on Summit Avenue. And they would have 4 masses a Sunday, and they had a weekday mass every day. 7:30 in the morning they had mass. There was such a demand, and that was to take care of the French people who really belonged to St. Joseph's, but they had moved up to this side of the city. And then of course you had St. Anne's, which is Castle Hill, which had their own distinct parish. Right. St. Teresa's was a mission, and it was a church that belonged to St. Joseph's, and St. Joseph's staffed it.
Was it built?
It's still there now, but it's been turned into something else. It's a wood frame structure, small church, you know, with a gate.
So they specifically built it. That structure wasn't there.
No, it was specifically built for that. And I think it must have been built in the 40s, right before they tore down the old St. Joseph's, because when the old St. Joseph's was being was torn down, and the new one, the white one, was being constructed, a lot of all the funerals and weddings were said or took place at St. Teresa's. And then once St. Joseph's, the new church, was up and running, St. Teresa's stayed. St. Teresa's, my mother and father, when we moved to Linden Street, went to St. Teresa's. I stuck with the old church. But that only closed in the 1980s. St. Teresa's only shut down. I might be losing track of time, but I'm going to say my father died in 92, and I became chief in 84, and it was still going. I think it closed down around 87, 88. They closed it, they shuttered it. And they sold the building. The building is still there, very distinguishable. You can tell it must have been some type of a church, but it's used for some other function now.
Huh.
How's that to add that to your repertoire?
That's great. That's fantastic.
You know where else there was a lot of French Canadians, real quick?
Yeah.
After Salem Fire.
Right.
A bunch of French Canadians moved from Salem to Beverly.
Yeah,
and there was a parish over there by the name of
Alphonse, maybe?
St. Alphonse. And it burnt down. It burnt down around 1967. It was a wood frame structure, and I never saw it in downtown Beverly, but I remember Pierre Breton used to be the pastor over there, and he used to be at St. Anne's. And then he built the new St. Alphonse's on the Danvers-Beverly line, and of course that did close down about 5-6 years ago, and it's now an Anglican church.
Yeah.
Christ Church, I think.
Christ, yeah.
So there was that French community there.
So that was a French church.
Yes. St. Alphonse in Beverly it was.
Right, yeah.
And then I'll tell you where there was a huge French parish that really rivaled St. Joseph's. And again, it's the mills, it's the shoe industry that drew in Lynn, Saint Jean Baptiste, and that closed down about 15 years ago. And that was a very big, and they had a very strong French population, and they had their school, they had everything, and I believe they even had a high school. But they were a very strong, vibrant French parish. You had St. Joseph's, St. Anne's, and St. Alphonse's on the North Shore.